I am now joined by Omid Safi, Director of Duke University's Islamic Studies Center via Skype. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Now, as we've just seen here, Charlie Hebdo, the magazine, remains defiant in the face of the attacks. The latest magazine cover features a depiction of a tearful Prophet Muhammad holding up a Je suis Charlie sign with "All is forgiven" written on top of the magazine. Now, there have been many interpretations of this particular cover. In your opinion, though, is this the right way forward in the aftermath of the attacks?
You know, the way that I always recommend for us to respond to these kinds of debates is to actually exercise the very power of freedom of speech that we're talking about here. What is beautiful about satire is its ability to speak truth to power. So if what is being critiqued is privileged, then that is one thing. I simply question what it means when satire is turned away from power and is directed at marginalized and oppressed communities, the way that Muslims in France unquestionably are today.
Some people would argue that they're not marginalized, though, that they are part of society, and the Prophet himself is just another religious leader. Explain for us why it is that depictions of other prophets or religious leaders do not invoke as violent a reaction as those of the Prophet Muhammad.
So I would first of all take issue with the fact that Muslims are not marginal. If you take a look at the fact that you got 5 million Muslims out of a country of tens of millions, they're making up 12% of the population, but 70% of the prison population, 27% of all French society before this episode spoke and admitted having very negative views of Muslims. So I think that's the starter point of that conversation, the insistence on context, and to make sure that we also see these Muslims as the children of French colonies.
Back to my original question, then, explain to us why it is that the depictions of Prophet Muhammad on covers of magazines, be it a cartoon or in any other way, invoke such violent reactions within some circles of the Muslim society.
Absolutely. So there should be no attempt to apologize for or defend what is clearly indefensible. The atrocities that we all saw in Paris should have no one defending them. What I am suggesting by here is that if what we cherish in Charlie Hebdo is that ability to be critical and to ask difficult questions, then that's something that all of us, Muslim and non-Muslim, should be doing. We should be asking the question, why is it that Charlie Hebdo fired in 2008 Maurice Senet, one of their cartoonists who was alleged to have made an anti-Semitic cartoon? He was fired. So making anti-Semitic comments is grounds for dismissal, but apparently mocking the Prophet of Islam is something that's to be celebrated, and one should say to the great financial gain of Charlie Hebdo in today's edition.
That is definitely a debate that's carrying on right now in France. So thank you so much for being with us. Omid Safi there, Director of Duke University's Islamic Studies Center.
Thank you for having me.